Okay, so we've got to do more on more equations. So this is the 1.4 was about quadratic equations in your book, and 1.6 is more equations. That's what we're in the middle of. More equations 1.6. So our title is More Equations B, second one we're doing about it. All right, and here's the problem. It's going to turn out to be a long one. These last couple of equations are going to turn out to be long ones, unfortunately. This is a radical equation. It's going to have a radical in it. Let me show you right away what I'm talking about. The square root of x plus 10 minus 4. The minus 4 is not underneath the radical roof. It's separate. That's important. Equals x. Okay, so how do we go about this? Well, this square root's got to go. The way to get rid of a square root is to square it. But you can only square it if we can get rid of everything else except for the square root. So that minus 4 has got to move to the other side. The way to do that is to do plus 4 on both sides. Okay, so this is gone. So we've got square root of x plus 10 equals x plus 4. Fine. Now, we can get rid of this radical sign. There's an easy way of doing it. Simply, what we do is we square it. Take the whole thing and square it. Whatever you do to the left, though, you must do to the right. So if we square the left, then this turns into plane. These two things are antithetical to each other. They're the antidote of each other. And therefore, we've got x plus 10, the left standing on the left-hand side, without the radical and without the square, equals x plus 4 squared. Go to scrap paper. What's x plus 4 squared? We've seen this before. It's going to turn into a perfect square trinomial. But let's just do it. X plus 4 times x plus 4. What do I get? I get x squared. Outside is 4x. Inside is 4x. I'm going a little faster than I've done before because we've seen this many times. And last times last is 16. What does it total up to be? X squared plus 8x plus 16. Okay, that's scrap paper work. Fine. This is x squared plus 8x plus 16. Okay, we can do something about this. We can now turn this into 0, and we'll have a quadratic equation equals 0, and maybe we can factor it, or if we have to do the quadratic formula, but we might even be able to factor it. We can turn this into 0. How? Minus x will get that to disappear. Minus 10 will get that to disappear. But whatever you do to the left, you got to do to the right. So this is gone, we get 0. That's what we wanted. X squared stays. 8x minus 1x is 7x, positive 7x, and 16 minus 10 is plus 6. Let me move the paper. I got a little bit more. Let me go to my scrap paper, and let's solve this. Let's factor this. Let's solve this quadratic equation by factoring because it's going to work. All right. What is that? How do we do that? Notice that the coefficient of x squared is 1, so we can use the simple riddle method. We got to get two numbers. When you multiply them together, you get 6. And when you add those two same numbers together, you get the middle coefficient, which is 7. Okay, what are those two magic numbers? 6 times 1 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. There's our magic numbers. So let me move x squared on the, well, no, I don't want to confuse you. So let's leave it alone for the moment. This becomes, the magic numbers are 6 with one x and 1 with the other. There's the magic numbers. Now let me move it over to the other side. So because we're used to reading from left to right, x plus 6 times x plus 1 is equal to 0. Let's go see what our two answers are. We get x plus 6 is equal to 0. That means our first solution is x equals minus 6. And x plus 1 equals 0. That means our second solution is negative 1. Now, it is crucial that we check our answers here. Check if they're right. Because over here, we squared it. If we square something, or we multiply it by any even exponent, then it could give us a false answer. We must check our answer. Okay, so that we're going to do in the next, we're going to do that in the next video. We'll check our answers. I want to make sure that I don't lose this. Okay.